Hello, I am Marisha and welcome to my creative diary. I hope you're having a great day. Get your die cuts ready because we're about to create two off the edge cards. So let's get started. To begin, I use scrapbook.com's mosaic die to die cut twice out of 110-pound Nina Classic Solar White cardstock. Then, using scrapbook.com's Thank You number 3 die set, I selected the Thanks sentiment and I die cut that off camera out of black mirror cardstock from cardstockwarehouse.com. Using the Butterflies number 1 die set from scrapbook.com along with gold mirror paper from the holographic mirror paper pack, I die cut a butterfly. Finally, using the Sunny Lanes floral die set from scrapbook.com, I die cut several flowers and leaves. Next, I'm going to assemble the panel using adhesive glue, but you can feel free to use any adhesive you like. I decided to adhere two together, that way this will add stability to the card. Next, I'm going to bring in an A2 standard size top folding card base along with my trimmer. I'm going to position the card base at an angle and then I'm going to cut off the bottom part of the card. Now, I just eyeballed this. I didn't measure. I just eyeballed it and cut the bottom half off. But as I always say, before you commit, experiment. Just make sure that you don't cut off too much because you want to be able to have enough card space to write your note to your recipient on the inside of your card. Next, I'm going to bring in an A2 standard size card panel, which is 4¼ by 5½ inches, and I'm going to place it on the inside of the card base. I'm then going to position it on my trimmer, and following the original cut of the card base, I'm going to follow that line and cut the panel. Just to ensure I have a perfect fit, I'm going to take the panel and I'm going to flip it and just trim a little bit off of the top of the panel. And I'm going to trim no more than about 1/8 of an inch. Once I'm done cutting everything to size, I'm then going to bring in the mosaic panel and I'm going to position it on the inside of the card base. And I'm going to trim this down. So I decided to bring in a pencil and I'm going to mark the area that I need to cut off this panel. Then using my scissors, I'm going to cut it down to size. I'm going to save the other piece for another card. Next, we're going to create what I like to call a card base sandwich. So we're going to sandwich the mosaic panel in between the card base and the other panel. So I'm going to bring in another A2 4¼ by 5½ inch base to use it as a guide to make sure that everything is even. I'm then going to add adhesive glue to the mosaic panel, and then I'm going to adhere it to the inside of the card base. So that is the middle part of our sandwich. Then I'm going to bring in the panel, add adhesive glue to the back of that, but feel free to use any adhesive that you like. And then I'm going to adhere that to the inside of the card base. And there you have it. Our card base sandwich is complete. Next, I'm going to bring in the flowers and the sentiment, and I'm going to position them on my card front. Once everything is positioned to my liking, I'm going to use a combination of adhesive glue and foam tape to adhere the elements to the card. These two projects are really easy to create. They are. Once you create your card base, all you're doing is adding your elements, your sentiment, and that's it. I really do hope you give these projects a try. Since my sentiment will be partially placed on top of the flowers, I decided to cut another sentiment out of white cardstock and I removed the T and H and I'm going to adhere the ANKS to thanks to the back of the sentiment. That way, this will ensure that the sentiment is even on my card front. After I adhered the center portion to the flowers, I then adhered the sentiment to the card front. Off camera, I decided to add pearls to the center of the flowers. And then I decided to die cut an additional gold butterfly to give it a 3D flutter effect. And I adhered the top layer to the bottom layer of the butterfly, making our first card complete. For our second card, I brought in a piece of cardstock which is 8.5 by 11 inches. I'm going to turn it horizontally and I'm going to cut it at 5.5 inches because we're going to create a side folding card. I'm then going to position it on my scoreboard and score it at 4.25 inches. Next, I'm going to bring in the mosaic panel and I'm going to position it along the scored line of the card. I'm then going to flip it over and using my pencil, I'm going to lightly trace around the outside of the panel. Once I'm done tracing the outline of the panel, I'm going to head back over to my trimmer and using the pencil marks as a guide, I'm then going to cut the card base down to size. Once I'm done, I'm going to repeat the same step as I did with the first card and cut an additional panel so we can create our card base sandwich. Next, I'm going to bring in the mosaic panel and I'm going to adhere the card base to the back of the panel. Now you do have the option to leave the card as is and just add your other elements and your sentiment and be done. Or you have the option to add an additional panel to the front of the card. So next I'm going to adhere the card base to the back of the mosaic panel. And then from there, I'm going to adhere the additional panel to the front of the card. Once I'm done adhering everything, my card base sandwich is complete. And right here, I'm just testing it out just to see how it would look freestanding. Next, I'm going to repeat the same step as I did with the first card. I'm going to position the flowers, the sentiment, and after that, this card is complete. And here's a look back at the first card that I created. And then here is the second card. 2 fun, easy, off the edge cards to create. Super simple and easy. Like I said, once you create your card base, that's it. You add your elements, your sentiment, and you'll be done. Thank you for joining me on today. I appreciate you for stopping by. I hope this tutorial has inspired you to create. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button and the notification bell. And don't forget to check out my blog at thediaryofbellerose.com. I'm sending you love and a whole lot of hugs. Until next time, please take care.